How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Daddy Dave, and this is a map tour for a new mod map to Farming Simulator 22 called Brosum. And like always, we're going to read the description from the mod hub, and it says, "Welcome to Brosum. This is an official map located somewhere in the north coast of Germany. Your desire is to make holidays here, but no time for that. There is much to do. A out-of-date cow farm needs you to make it a modern farming business, which is competitive on the market. Map content: 101 purchasable farmlands, 93 fields, small to mid-size, 5 selling stations, 10 production facilities, biogas, cow farm, sheep barn. Enjoy your stay at Brosum." This map was created by Torben and is 187.03 megabytes to download. There are required mods for this map, even though it doesn't say on the mod hub itself. There are 3 required mods. It includes the old cow shed, the Dutch shed pack, and the old farm package. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the map and see where we start out. You can see we start over here on the eastern side of the map towards the middle of the map. What do we own? We own farmlands number 53 and 69, which encompass the farm, a couple of grasslands, as well as field number 44. If we take a look at some of the field prices, because there are quite a range of sizes, you're going to see pretty good range, but even the bigger fields are not that expensive. Like the big one, farmland 36, is $334,000, almost 335. You have this big grass area here. This one's 292,000. So very achievable. Very much you can buy a lot of these smaller plots and build up to the bigger ones. You do have a big forestry area over here for 1.7 million. Now that one's a bit pricey. You also have another one over here on the east side. This one's 659,000. So forestry is a little pricey, but you also get some up here in the north as well for a little bit cheaper. So anyways, can you buy the periphery? No, there are areas on this map where you cannot purchase, included a large chunk of the middle here, and this is where a lot of the production points, sell points are at, as well as over here on the kind of south-ish, west-ish portion of the map, and all along the coastal line here. You've got a bunch of grassland and whatnot right off to the coast. You're right on the coastline of the water here, and all this is non-viable. You do start with animal pens, but you do not start with any animals. You do start with a sheep pasture as well as a cow barn. There are contracts, as you can see here. You do not start with any production chains. There are collectibles on this map. There are 12 of them, and they are the little cheese wheels from the cheese wedges from Erlengrot, I think is the map that uses those. So let's go ahead and start with our map tour. We got got our map open in the bottom left. And first things first, we're gonna walk over because we start at kind of an odd spot. We start right here in front of the restaurant here in town by this kind of development here away from the farm. But we're gonna just walk over to our first several sell points and production points. We're going to be cutting through somebody's yard directly in front of us to get to our first point of interest. Alright, so directly in front of us is the farmer's market sell point. You can see the sell point is right here on the back side. Now we're going to run back. Through the park right here. Now, this map is definitely going to need an update. And I'll show you why in just a second. So right up here in the northern portion of this area, there's a couple of points of interest. Now you can see, oh, jump over the fence, there we go. One of the points of interest is right here, this little selling point right here. But there's another dot right over here, but you can't see it. If you come to the map and you click on it, it's an electrical charging point. The problem is that the electrical charging point is right in here. Like, you can actually fast travel to it, and now here it is. It's inside the building. So definitely something that's probably going to need to be updated. And I thought, well, maybe you could purchase this area and then gain access to this building. That's definitely not the case because you can't purchase the area. So something has to be done to fix this. So that's going to be something coming in the future. So we were just in that building there, and we just teleported to the sell point. This sell point is the Country Trading Post sell point. Moving on from there, gonna jump a couple of fences and through a hedge. Here we go. Right here in front of us is the grain mill. You can purchase the grain mill for $96,000. And you have your inputs right here and your outputs right here. Right beside that is the cereal factory. Purchase that for $110,000. Inputs right here, outputs right in front of the doorway. From there, jump the fence, run beside the bike rack, and over here we have the spinnery. Purchase that for $60,000. And you have inputs off to the side here and outputs right here. Here's another issue that's going to need to be fixed. You can see just the levitating box. So just small things here and there that's going to need to be tweaked to, make it look proper. Right next door is the carpentry that you can purchase for another $60,000. Inputs including wood logs can go in here using the wood trigger right there. Outputs right there. Across the street is a supermarket sell point. Drop things off right over there. And now we're gonna backtrack to where we originally started at, which is the restaurant. Which is right here, and the sell point for the restaurant is right off to the side. And come over in this direction. Now, this map kind of confuses me. And this is why. So this is the first of our bakeries. This, and I'm going to butcher the name on this. I'm going to warn you right now. The A Fernel des Champs Bakery. You can purchase this for $50,000. Inputs right there, outputs right here. Now I say first bakery because there are two bakeries on this map, but according to the description in the mod hub, this is a German map. This is a fictional map located somewhere on the north coast of Germany. Well, if I'm not mistaken, A Fernel des Champs Bakery, is that not French? I could be wrong about that. I don't know. That's could be me. I could be wrong. Often am. Right over here is the grain storage sell point. Come to sell your goods right here. And then from here we need to run in this direction. There's going to be a little bit of running between here and our next location, because we have got to make it to the farm. Oh, this way. Whoops. I thought I was a little further south than I really was. You can see our wheat field is directly in front of us, right over there. This is field 44 directly in front of me. You have wheat ready to harvest. It is at a, I think that's pretty standard, about 38%. Um, but a little helpful tip that if you ever have a field that's that low, you can get a little bit extra out of it by having a tractor with narrow tires, hooking up to either a fertilizer spreader or something that also has narrow tires or has no tires at all, and lay down some lime fertilizer right off the bat, and you should be able to increase your yield. And right here is our starting farm. You can see we start out with some storage spaces, and we have a silo here. This is a Pharma 400, which is, I believe, a 400,000 liter capacity. Directly in front of us is our cow barn. It can hold up to 35 cows, and does have opening doors. You can put in your food and your straw right in here at the dump point. Some more of your starting equipment. And your milk trigger is right. Oh, the door is not working. Well, it is right here. So again, potentially another one. You do start out with a washer. You have your own little workshop trigger right here on the farm. Make some repairs. And then over here is your sleep trigger. Now that we're at the farm, let's check out our starting equipment. We'll come back through here. So come to this page and look at our owned equipment. Under small tractors, we have the Steyr 8150. Under medium tractors, we have the John Deere 7810. Under harvesters, the Deutz-Fahr Topliner 4090H. Under trailers, we have the Rudolph DK280RL, as well as the Welger DK115. Oh, sorry about that. I'm still fighting off this sinus infection, so it's kind of kicking my butt. Well, we have the header for the top liner. We have the Horsch Toronto 3FX cultivator. Under seeders, we have the Nordstein HK25 plus NS 3030. Under mowers, we have the K-brand GMD 4411. Under tedders, we have the Pottinger Alpenhit 4.4H. Under windrowers, we have the Pottinger Top 342. Under balers, we have the Massey Ferguson 1840. We have the header trailer. And under weights, we have the John Deere Pickup 900, as well as the 10-Winkle Pack 750. Let's also take a look at starting on new farmer mode. You are currently using 1,087 slots out of 4,400 slots for PS5 as well as Xbox Series S and X users. I think that gets cut in half for the old gen consoles, the Xbox Ones as well as the PlayStation 4s. So we're going to go ahead and hop in our tractor here, and we're going to drive out to our next point of interest. So your house is like right in between these kind of two large development areas. Yeah, it's kind of odd if you ask me. Like, I'm sure there's somewhere like this out there somewhere, but it just seems different to me. Like, if I was one of these homeowners, I wouldn't want to live right next to the farm like that. It'd be loud as can be. Now this is our second bakery. As you can see, bakery for $50,000. I did purchase both of these on a previous walkthrough, and both of them have the same exact goods that you can create, the cakes and the breads, using flour and various other goods for the cakes. The only difference is that the portions, the oh goodness, the quantities that you get for the breads as well as the cakes differ. So the inputs and outputs differ based on the productivity. Inputs are right here, outputs right over there in the hash. Now you see this giant hill right to our right here. On the other side of the hill is like the water. You have these huge, huge grass fields right off to my right here. These kind of span all throughout the eastern, yeah, western portion of the map. Now we kind of cut through these giant hills here. Giant, they're just these hills. You can see right in front of us is the water. We got a little marina right there. And this is our next sell point. This is the pizzeria. And then over here is the fast food diner. I'm sorry, fast food restaurant. And sell point is right there. Now all this area that's on this side of the hill, as we saw on the map, is not purchasable, but I do believe it's accessible. Like, you can come back here, you just can't do anything with it. It's just kind of there. So now, make a left again, head back towards the farm, but we're going to pass the entrance this time. And we're approaching our next point of interest. You can see it right off to the left side of us there. Alright, so off to our left here, we pull in, kind of have a sheep farm right here. Now you don't own this area, but you do have access to this pasture here. The sheep, you can hold up to 15 sheep in this little pasture. Water is there, food is here, and wool spawns right over there. And you do have a water tank that you can use right over here. Now again, you do have access to the pen and to the water, but you don't technically own the farm. And I forgot to turn off the save. What was I looking at? Oh, you know what? Here, we'll look at where we were and where we've been, and then I'll show you what I was going to show you. So we started here at the restaurant. We walked over and saw the farmer's market. Came back over and saw the glitch in the electric charging station, and then went over and fast traveled to the county trading point. Came down, checked out the grain mill, cereal factory, the spinnery, carpentry, supermarket. We then saw the restaurant sell point, so we did start here, but we didn't actually check it out. We then went and checked out the O Fernel des Champs bakery. Then down here we saw the grain storage. And then we came all the way down here through the wheat field into our farm. We saw the Farm of 400 silo, the cow barn, and the sleep trigger. We grabbed a tractor, came out to the road here, went down the street up to here, and we saw the bakery. We then came out to this road, came up and around, and we checked out the pizzeria sell point as well as the fast food. We then backtracked, came back north, and we came to here where we saw the sheep pasture as well as the water tank. Now, you can purchase this farmland for $45,168, but again, don't necessarily have to unless you want to make modifications to the area here, because you do have access to the sheep. Moving on. Alright, so up here we've got to make a right. And that kind of reminds me. So you see all these fields right here that you can purchase. They are, usable. But then you get to this point right here to our left where you can't do anything again because you don't own this land. So it's a lot of unused grass area that's just going kind of without. There is a little bit of distance to cover between here and our next point of interest. It's all the way down here at the end of this road. Alright, we are coming up on our next point of interest. And up here to our left is the tailor shop. You can purchase for $100,000. You have inputs over here, and outputs, I believe, are on the back, right here. And you also get a wardrobe trigger. Then if we pull back out here, we're gonna just cut through the grass area right here. Come out to here, make a right. And right here we have the dairy. Purchase that for $70,000. You have your outputs right here, and your inputs are on the back here. And we come back out this way. Then make a left. Oh my goodness. Well, thankfully I'm in the big tractor and just go over top of you. Alright, to the right here is the gas station. And to the left is the shop. This is the shop trigger where you can purchase all your items. And over here, if you open up this second bay here and drive in, you're supposed to be able to. There we go. Supposed to be able to open this bay. There we go. You gotta open from the inside. You can then access the repair trigger. Now head back out here. Now all these points of interest to our right here, we've already seen those at the very start. We walked to them. As a matter of fact, just behind that big silo there is that glitched electrical charge point. Now from here, oops, you just turn this way. Come out past these kind of grove of trees. Up this driveway. And to our right is the animal dealer. This is the trigger that you can use in order to purchase all of your livestock for your pens, if you have them placed down on the farm, placed down on the map. Around back, right here, is the animal dealer sell point. This is also a place where you can take the animal dealer trigger. There is the place where you can take your trailers, load into your trailers directly if you have the pens to place the animals into. Okay. Off to our left is our next point of interest, the biogas plant, where you can see right here to our right is the biomethane refill point. And then, in order to access the biogas triggers, you need to purchase the land. So let's take a look at where we've been and what we've seen. So we were up here at the sheep farm, came out, went north, hit this intersection, made a right, came all the way down here, and hit the tailor shop. We left the tailor shop and came up north here, and then saw the dairy. Backtrack out, came down and around. We saw the gas station as well as the vehicle shop right across the street, as well as the repair trigger. We came down here and passed by all these because we saw these originally. And, oops, backed up. We came out to here past the tree grove, and then we saw the This is the animal dealer, but they call them the livestock market Haut Belleron. And then the livestock market Haut Belleron sell point. See, this one also makes me think that this is like there's some French elements to this, because I thought Haut Belleron was the French map that Giants made. So it just seems out of place to me, these two labels as well as the bakery that we originally saw. We then came up north, back out the driveway, out this road back to the main road, came down here, we hit the biogas plant, and here we are right now. You can purchase the land, Farmland 26, for $364,896. When you do, all the triggers will come up, such as your solids input right here in that clamp. You have your liquids input right there, your liquid output right there, your digestate. Now back out to the main road. We're going to take in the last several of our points of interest. Okay, so here we're going to hop out and walk the rest of the way. Directly in front of us is the debris crusher where you can bring your stones. Over here is the lime buying station, so this is the lime buy point. Back behind these buildings, we have our sugar mill. You can purchase this for $80,000, and you've got your inputs and outputs right back here. Inputs here, and outputs. Where are my outputs? I don't see the. Alright, I don't see the hash mark. Over here is the oil mill. Purchase this for another $80,000. Inputs right here, outputs right beside it. Over here is the biomass heating plant where you can take your wood and wood chips and sell those. And again, I think we're going to have another need a repair. Oh, wait. There we go. Never mind. So you might want to potentially update. This might be part of the update as well, is to move this just off the trigger. Even though the trigger is accessible, it is kind of hiding there. And beside it, our second to last production point, this is the grape processing. For $80,000, you can purchase that. Inputs over here, outputs over here. Now we're going to come out here to this little 2-track, jump the fence. This 2-track here goes all the way out to the main road, way over down there. And this 2-track will then take you into the last production, the sawmill. You can purchase a sawmill for $100,000. Your wood chips come out here. Your inputs right here as well for your wood and whatnot. And your wood cell trigger is right here. Outputs are back here. And that's the map. That's Brosum. So this is the part where I discuss my rating, how I feel about the map. This map, if I were to give it a score from 0 to 5, take into account the issues that are on it that are going to need to be fixed. Now, mind you, they're not unusable issues. Like, they're not so bad that you can't use the map or anything like that. You know, unless you have like an electrical tractor, which you don't have one to start out with. So you can just avoid it for this map. The trigger for the biomass heating plant, as well as the hash mark up there at one of the production centers. Factoring those in, I'd give this a 2. Now, the map is clean. It's got a good color palette. The lighting is nice. Just something about it just doesn't strike me as, I don't know, yearning. Like, just something about it just, I don't know. It just doesn't, something just doesn't sit well with me with this map. Um, a lot of it has to do with it being so flat. I'm not huge on extremely flat maps. The only rises that you get are way off in the distance here. You know what? So my biggest issue with this map, if we look at the map itself, you have so much area that is not purchasable. That drives me nuts. Not being able to purchase huge chunks of the map. And you can see this center portion here where the town is, you can't purchase. You can't purchase right next to your own farm. So that's out of the question. And you can't purchase anything over here on the westernmost portion of the map. So, and on the southern portion and this eastern portion, like, there's so much of this map that just makes you feel hemmed in, but you still have access to it. So I could just go out in the middle of the grassland here and just kind of take a look at the water kind of thing. And now I will say that this is a much better alternative to have this kind of water table over here, to where you can, where it kind of just looks like it's going off into the distance kind of thing, rather than the kind of blocky, grainy images that we get on some maps. But the fact that I can't purchase this and do something with it just seems like such a waste of area on this map. Um, so yeah, that's my biggest gripe. But then just something about it, because it's so flat, the only area that seems to be elevated is this coastal area with this kind of berm, or this kind of built up, hill top area. Um, it also, there's a lot of, now this is a point in its favor. Because of the water table, like the waterway here for the rivers and canals and whatnot, there are a lot of areas where, because you have to take such a long outer perimeter, it makes the map seem bigger than what it really is. And I think that's because of, like, the road networks and things like that. And it does have a good mixture of uh, road networks that are two tracks versus like main pathways, dirt roads, things like that. So there are definitely some pluses to this. This map does have some good bones to it. I think once they fix the issues to it and whatnot, I think this could be a good playable map for a lot of people. Um, just not for me. But yeah, so I 2 out of 5 for the state it's in right now. After it gets all fixed up, probably 3. I'd probably give it a good 3 out of 5. So about middle of the road. I do like that you start out with a lot of grassland that you can work on, so you can get some hay and silage for your cows. Get that kind of process going right away. You also get a wheat field that you can kind of get the process going for, your farmables and all that stuff. So, like I said, there's some good bones to this map. It's just, it's, again, the flatness, as well as kind of the mixture of issues that currently exist. What was that? So, oh, I stepped too close to the field. Um, so yeah, and after the fixes, 3 out of 5, and yeah, we'll call it good. But that's the map tour. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, doing all the things that the algorithms enjoy you doing. That shows you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.